Hey guys, it's your boy Miguel here to give you your daily dose of radiation. In today's video, we are covering the most common parts I see as far as X-ray equipment that breaks down and you'll have problems with at work. So to give you context, I'm a night shift X-ray tech, been doing it for over 4 years, trauma 3 ER in the great state of Texas. Ungodly amount of overtime. So I deal with a lot of stuff. So the main one that goes down is the portables because, we're out there cruising, pissing off people, especially me, 2 in the morning, causing mad chaos, spreading cancer, But anyways, and then at our hospital, we have students, we have you guys here learning how to, test drive the whips. Some of y'all still struggling, to cruise, and they have we'll say some love taps on the whip, a lot of scratches, and a bunch of other stuff. But anyways, the most common one we see is the handle being stuck. So for instance, all the machines, we have Fujis. You either press the button, like there's like little buttons on the handle, or there's a latch. Usually the latch that lets you lift up the tube and angle will get stuck and it won't come out of this little thing if it's a Fuji. If it's a Siemens, some of those have like a little latch you like press and lift. Usually you don't struggle with those because you're manually pushing down the lever. With our Fujis, they have a little buttons, 2 little gray ones at the top. And you push it and then the lever in the back unlocks and you can angle it. Sometimes it gets stuck. I have a shitty little attachment with a string that pulls down the lever manually, and that will bypass that. It saves me my problem because it causes problems all the time. When you're driving, sometimes the machine will wobble. Sometimes the latch won't go down all the way and it will cause beeping noise, or it won't drive as fast. So sometimes you'll have to what I found a solution is press the button, hold it down, and kind of put force down on the tube, and it lets you drive easier like that. Because sometimes when you get off of elevators, it will beep, or when you're cruising around, sometimes it will happen. Another common part is the electrical outlet to your portables when you pull them, because you got to crank the cable and then hook it up to the power wall. Sometimes the little adapter, the actual that connects to the electricity, will get loose and it won't charge. Or sometimes the outlet, because you're pushing the cable to connect and then pulling it. Sometimes the actual unit of electricity, the power port, will go down. So that is something that happens. Same thing when you're connecting your little portable, like the platelet. We have Fujis. Those have a little middle prong. You push down and it connects. Sometimes those get loose. Sometimes it get breaks. That's something you deal with. I know that if you use GEs, they have a little plate charger where you just set it on your portable and you won't need it. You won't have problems. But those come with different problems. Those, half of the time, ours at least, our shitty equipment, the network always has problems with the plate not being connected to the machine. So that's something, there's not a physical break. That's more of a, digital electronic type of network problem. But we see that too. With the GEs, the one we use is a GE also. The problem I've seen is when you go to pull it out and you angle the tube, sometimes the box, the collimator box, not up here where you're actually collimating, but the actual box itself down here, the collimation, it has a little, maybe to protect the thing, but it's like a little platelet, it's black. It will move sometimes, and then it'll look like you collimated, but you didn't. And sometimes you gotta pop it back into place. That's a common issue you see. Another one would be, I've only seen it with RGE we have, is you'll pull out the tube and then you'll angle but then it won't hold in place. It'll like revert back to where you started. Like instead of like, let's say this is, you pulled out the X-ray tube, right? It just stays here. And then you move it, but then you let go and then it'll just swing back. They have to fix that too. I've noticed that. That happens every once in a while. What else? Sometimes the collimator box light will go down every once in a while, but that's an easy fix. They literally, I've seen them, the technician will have a little light bulb, tiny little one. He'll open it up, pop it back into place. I've seen it before. That's another common thing that goes out. On the big machines, we're talking not portable, the big X-ray units, the table will have problems. If your room gets too hot, it will overheat and you can't use the table. We have an AC unit, but I think that's mainly our shitty equipment that gets too hot, and the AC sometimes don't work at the hospital, like at our department. So maybe you won't have to deal with that. Or the table. Well, like ours, you double tap and then it becomes a floating table, like you can move it. Ours, sometimes you double tap and you have to push it forward and to move it back. Like it's a little shimmy thing situation. I don't know. It's weird. That ends up breaking all the time. Other times the table won't move at all. I mainly blame big people because this is America and they're always pushing the weight limit on our machines and it causes problems. Sometimes it doesn't, not necessarily that it will break, but if there's a storm and the actual unit switch to the generator, you'll have to manually flick the power unit, like the circuit breaker on the image, like on the system, to get it to work. That's a simple solution. Sometimes when you go to shoot two views standing, our system is the GE, the big tables, the standing wall bucky, because sometimes you put a little like thing where the patients will hold, like it's a little bar. Some of these people will be holding onto it with their dear life and putting so much weight on it that it will essentially cause the system. They have to replace the little bar or the sensor or whatever that's in it, that when you go and place, because you can tilt the wall bucky, right? And then you attach the little handle, and sometimes I guess the weight or whatever will move it forward. So now you have a red light and it won't shoot because it's not straight, and it will cause it will cause problems with your system. So that's another common thing you see. A new situation Miguel found himself in is when we were pushing the button on our Fuji portable machine. Apparently, if you step back too far, your rotor button cable connector can get disconnected from the system. I can let you know that one time we were shooting this big patient and 6 feet did not feel enough for Miguel, so he went a little bit more, just a lot. We were shooting it hot with the grid. That was a long beep, and Miguel figured out that it got loose from the actual machine. So apparently that's a thing that happens too. Trying to be safe over here. So, but once again, that's just Miguel's shitty equipment that he deals at work. You know, that's something that happens. Every once in a while, the rotor button will get like that connects the bottom, not to the actual machine, but like imagine this is, the button. And then it has a tiny little string attachment. The actual base of it, that one sometimes will get loose and you'll have to just kind of like push it up and it'll work. Other times you just need a new button. That's another common thing we see. I think that summarizes all the big stuff. The common stuff. There's other stuff, but that rarely happens. That's more situational based, or who knows what awaits for you when you're at work with your shitty equipment you work with. But as a student, I went everywhere, and it's the same thing. Some machines a little fucked up, and you just have to work around it. And depending how fucked up they are, sometimes the upper management will ignore it until it just becomes a problem to where you can't. As long as you can shoot it and it's working, they won't care. But then once it starts messing up their profits or causing problems in the upper management, then they'll care, and maybe they'll replace it with a new one, or they'll give you another refurbished one. As far as some of the issues we see, you can fix them. The technician can fix them. Sometimes they have to order parts. Some of them, they can get them here within 24 hours. Some of them take a little bit longer, especially if they're already insured, or if the actual company, GE, Fuji, whoever, Siemens, has to order the part, it can take a little bit longer. I've seen stuff like the actual Xray plate take like a week to get another one. But then, again, it all depends on what you're dealing with. So, I know it don't sound like fun, so trust me, sometimes you're just like, all you want to do is come to work, just push the button and take pictures. That's all you want, but sometimes it's not that easy. So, what 8's for you guys. So once again, it's been your boy Miguel. We'll see you on the next one.